So about a week ago or so, I put a call out for some questions to be sent to me so I could do a Q&A type vlog. Didn't actually think anyone would actually ask me any questions. Didn't think anyone would be interested. For some strange reason, it turns out you are, and I actually got quite a few questions. Now I have to answer them. Okay, so I've written the answers, not the answers, I've written the questions down on my magical pad of wonderment. So, because otherwise basically they'd be on my phone, but I use my phone to film the vlogs and that's totally boring, you didn't need to know that bit. Okay, so first question. How did you first hear the Deadly Waiting's music? I'm actually wearing the t-shirt today as well, so that was pretty good timing, I suppose. Well, I actually first saw them in the Introducing New Music section of Kerrang! Anyone who reads Kerrang! Regularly will know about that section. And, you know, read about them and how they were, you know, Swindon's not a million miles away. So they were fairly local to me, and thought I'd check them out, checked out a video or two, and thought, yeah, you know, really like these guys. So, been a fan for quite a while, but weirdly I didn't actually get to see them live until 2012 at the Killing Is Dead tour in Southampton, because whenever they were playing anywhere near me I was on holiday or going to see something else or whatever. So that never quite worked out. I like this one. Tell me all your favourite elves. Now I know who this came from as well, because it turns out we're quite big Tolkien nuts. I'm actually more of a Hobbit girl than I'm an elf girl. I must be honest about that. But I think, you know, out of the elves, I mean, there's the obvious ones, like Legolas is pretty cool, Tauriel, you know. Glad they kind of expanded that character a bit in The Hobbit in the film. Oops, gave that one away. Elrond and Galadriel, obviously, but I think Celeborn doesn't get enough love, actually, out of The Lord of the Rings. I think he needs more. Download or Bloodstock? Well, I've only been to download, so I'm going to have to say that, I'm afraid. Favourite nail varnish that you own? Favourite nail varnish that I own? Well, actually, my friend recently got me this nail art kit. Now, I've had this nail varnish on for about a week now, so it's starting to get a bit chipped, but I don't know if you can sort of see. I've been able to sort of draw my own stuff. It's a bit Christmassy at the moment, for Christmas. Yeah, so I guess that's probably my favourite nail varnish at the moment, because it's got a brush with it, so you can actually put that on as a base coat, and then it's got like the little stylus bit that you can actually draw the pictures with. So I think that's probably my favourite at the moment, actually. Your dream job? Well, full-time promoter for Luke Lucas, obviously. Best outfit you've ever worn? Anyone who knows me knows I actually have terrible dress sense, mostly because I'm incredibly lazy and can't be bothered to put an outfit together. But I think probably my old rock dress, which I'm having to retire because after about 6 years it's finally died, and it's a sad, sad day. It's something I got from Debenhams ages ago, and it's covered in studs and it's all black and everything. The last time I got to wear that dress, when it got ripped, this is why I had to retire it. It was actually when I went to see Fearless Vampire Killers and Lost Alone when they did their Seaside Rendezvous tour. So it was back in August now. And it's actually Lawrence ripped it, blaming him for me having to retire my favourite dress. But yes, that's probably my favourite one. I'll stick a picture up. Worst gig you ever went to and why? Actually, most of the gigs I've been to have been great, actually. I've been pretty impressed with pretty much everybody I've ever been to see. Probably my least favourite one was in May last year. Thinking about it, I went to see Lost Prophets, and not for the obvious reasons of what's happened recently, on, you know, the sickening events of that, which are totally terrible. I think probably what made it the worst, actually, was there was only one opening act, and they were this awful, really shitty dubstep group. I can't even remember their names. They were absolutely dreadful. And Ian Watkins just seemed completely and utterly off his head. I wanted to say something else, but I'm actually not going to say that. Yeah, oh man, he was awful. So I mean, I went to see them again 6 months later, and they were much better, and they had, like, We Are the Ocean, whatever, opening for them, and they were much, much better then. But that one gig, probably the worst one I've been to. Would you rather be a cyborg with a machine gun arm or a unicorn with telekinetic powers? Asking the deep questions now. Probably the unicorn with telekinetic powers, because then I'd get Tenacious D-style mind bullets. That would be cool, so I'm going to go with that. Okay, so if you were in a band and magically had all the talent, money, time, band members, moving over, you required, what sort of music would you make? Well, I would sing. I'd have Luke Lucas on the sort of screamo duty, and keyboards, because he's an amazing keyboardist, pianist, whatever. I'd have Drew Warner on bass, talented little bugger. Jason White, who's the other guitarist in Green Day, amazing guitarist, have him on guitar. Probably have Kia Kemp on sort of acoustic and rhythm guitar. Yeah. And Tom Shrimpton from The Dead Lay Waiting. I'm going to say that because they've got a farewell show coming up that they're doing with Luke. So yeah, Tom from Dead Lay Waiting on drums. And I think we'd do a kind of metalcore K-pop crossover and just warp everybody's minds. That would be cool. Who is Dave? Dave is my fiance. We actually met when we were working at Sainsbury's together many, many, many moons ago, and I used to be his supervisor. And yeah, got together just after I left working there. We've been together ever since. There's a zombie apocalypse, and you have to choose one band to live with throughout this. Who do you choose out of Ashes to Angels, Fearless Vampire Killers, and My Chemical Romance? I love zombie questions. I love anything zombie at the moment. It's even warped into my dreams. So okay, this is a good one. Right. Let's break this down. Okay, so Nico would be pretty much like, with his glitter and everything, he'd be pretty dazzling for the zombies. But then again, he might also be a bit of a beacon and draw them to us. Although I think Crilly would pretty much kick butt and, you know, shock and awe the zombies. I don't know, I get the feeling My Chemical Romance wouldn't be too good at actually fighting the zombies. I think it's all front. I don't think they'd be very good at it. I think probably I'm going to choose Fearless Vampire Killers, actually. I mean, I probably shouldn't I? Because I think they've got mad Nerf gun skills, you see, and I think that would transfer great into the sort of zombie apocalypse coping thing, you know, get your guns and whatnot. I think Drew would also have speed on his side. Lawrence, I think, would be an amazing shot. I just get the impression that he would be. Pilnan would have like this Batman-style utility belt. I think he would make himself, and that would help us to survive the zombie apocalypse. I think Barone would just be equipped with like all the steampunk gear, and I don't know. I somehow seem to think that would give us a benefit. Kia, I think, would make the zombies realise that they were just so plain by comparison that they would just give up and die, quite frankly. What is the key that unlocks your heart that you would give yourself to someone? Friends and lovers basically have let me down in the past, so I guess the biggest thing to me is to build trust. I mean, if you can build trust, then I'm anybody's, really. Once I get to know you, I don't care what you're into, I don't care what you do, but you can gain my trust. That's the biggest thing, and I will open up and I will be yours forever. Who was the first member of Fearless Vampire Killers that you met? Well, Lawrence. I mean, technically it was on the New Faith tour when he accidentally stood on my foot and apologised for it, but I had no idea who he was. I only recognised him after he got up on stage. I went, oh my god, it's that guy from Fearless Vampire Killers who I saw in Kerrang last week. And that's actually what kind of got my attention, I suppose, and got me into the band. Because I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, he was quite nice about it all and everything and apologised. So, yeah, okay, I'm going to check this band out. As far as he's concerned, the first time we ever met was Killing Is Dead tour in Southampton. But, you know, I've told that story a million. Most embarrassing gig moment. Oh my god, I actually have 3 that it could possibly be. 2 of them involve Lawrence Beveridge. He decided to try and wind my fiancé up once with a certain event at the Kerrang tour, which we don't need to go into. If you want me to go into it, just ask me on Twitter, I'll tell you what it was. But yeah, he decided to try and wind my fiancée up. That was just mortifying, actually. I was just like, please don't. Please just don't. I mean, it was funny, but it was also very embarrassing at the same time. Then probably... Oh yeah, and then when I went to see them open for Medina Lake a couple of months ago, the dress I was wearing was a new dress, and I was kind of like... The buttons were a bit stiff. There's buttons that go up the front, and the buttons were a little bit stiff, and I was just stood there, and I was quite near the front, off to one side, and Lawrence was on stage, and it was actually during War with Thirst, and he spotted me in the crowd, which is amazing, because his eyesight's ridiculously crap. But he spotted me, and as he spotted me, he kind of went like that and pointed at me and winked at me, and as he winked at me, for some reason, a couple of the buttons on my dress just went and decided to burst open. I mean, they didn't pop off the dress, but they just opened. So that's just ridiculous. The other one is probably, yeah, definitely, MCM Comic Con London back in May, and the Deadly Waiting were playing because they were there plugging their comic, and I'd gone along to see them, obviously, because it was Luke, and they were up on stage, and just at this moment that Luke sort of looks in my general direction, my skirt fell down. Now, luckily enough for me, I had a, like, underskirt sort of thing on there, like a petticoat sort of thing underneath, which looks like a skirt itself. It could be a skirt, actually. Basically, I was wearing two skirts, but the outer one sort of fell down. I just went, oh my god. That was a bit embarrassing. And final question, what will 2014 hold? Well, hopefully, Dave and I are going to get our house, and we're going to be able to sort of work on getting our wedding organised and get married. That would be the main thing, and I can't wait for that. Also, at the beginning of the year, I've got the Deadly Waiting's farewell show down in Bristol, so if anyone's coming down to that, look out for me, because I'll be there. I'm coming down for that, like I would miss it, you know. So it's going to be an absolutely amazing show, and a chance for me to see them one last time, because if I'd have known that July this year was going to be the last time I'd see them all together, I would have made a huge deal out of it. So that's going to be right towards the beginning of the year. So like I say, if you're going down there, come say hi. You will probably recognise me and spot me a mile off. Don't be shy to come and say hello. I'll be the one probably chasing Luke around the venue, trying to keep him under some form of control. I doubt that's possible. I'll give it a shot, and I'll introduce you as well. If you come up and say hi and whatever during the gig, I'll introduce you, and that'd be nice. And that's it. See, I've got some questions and I answered them. Absolutely amazed by that. So thank you guys, that was surreal. And I might do another one of these again, maybe in 6 months' time or something. Just, you know, why not? Until then, adios.